lips of every Ghanaian this morning, or in fact, since Sunday night. During the unveiling of Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh and the MPP ticket on Sunday night, he made a statement which has caused or brought a backlash to him as a person and the event that happened on Sunday night. He said that no precedent since Ghana's independence has been able to, or the development that Nana Akufo-Addo has brought to Ghana far surpasses any that any other president has brought to Ghana since independence. And then he mentioned Dr. Nkrumah. Since he made the statement, Ghanaians have asked why. Was it necessary to make that statement on that platform? The CPP has issued a statement asking that he be removed from the MPP ticket, and they have asked that he apologizes. His spokesperson has been talking, and he says that what Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh said has been taken out of context. He did not mean to disrespect Dr. Nkrumah or his achievements. He also went further to say that, well, this is his personal opinion about the progress or development which the current government and President Nana Addo has brought as compared to what Dr. Nkrumah brought to the country. It's his personal view which is entitled to, and he has not forced it on anybody. This was what his spokesperson, Fifi Boafo, said. Now, yesterday, while on tour, he attempted to explain what he meant by the statement he made. And he said specifically that what he said was not meant to disrespect Dr. Nkrumah. What he said and what Ghanaians expect in Ghanaian politics is that when someone says the truth, he's chastised. When people lie, they are praised. But he was not raised to lie. And so he speaks the truth. And he said this during his tour of the Western North region while speaking to the Omanhene of Wasamemfi in Ikropong. We're going to play some clips just to put all of this in context properly so that we see for ourselves, if you missed any of those videos, exactly what he said. We'll read some excerpts of the CPP statement asking him to be removed from the MPP ticket. And then we'll begin our discussion. But of course, today is a Thursday. That means that we have our very powerful women joining us on the show this morning. I'll introduce them to you in a moment. But let's take a look at the videos, which will put this discussion into proper context.
Ghana, Ghana, President Akufo-Addo retirement. But to be sacked, we say a free style Ghana from 1957. Ebekane, your president be our Ghana China and Addo Akufo-Addo. Messi a free style 1957. Bekane, mo form Nkrumah no, mo form Obia di wa abedi mampanya, wa Ghana ho ban, e di Ghana kola nim China and Addo Akufo-Addo.
They have misinterpreted what I said. I said since 1957, no government has worked more than Nana Akufo-Addo. In our politics, if you speak the truth, they say you are ungrateful. If you tell lies, you are praised. I am your child. You did not train me to be untruthful or a coward.
It is. I am saying that Dr. Prempeh made a statement. His statement is that he did not intend disrespecting our former presidents. His statement rather has to do with a comparison of the performance of the two governments. But all other governments, not specifically the two governments, i.e. the Nkrumah government and the Akufo-Addo government. So it is not disrespectful to tout the performance of a government which Dr. Prempeh is a member. I have not in any way in this interview said I did not find anything wrong or otherwise. That is not a comment I have made. I am only clarifying the point that, yes, he respects our former president. What he said may not have come out clearly, and it's a statement I am clarifying to you.
All right, you're welcome back. So if you watched those videos, I believe you can make your own decision on what Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh said and what he meant by what he said. But we're going to discuss that in great detail this morning on the show. And I'm joined by the Nanaya Achimpim Jantwa, former General Secretary of the CPP. Good morning, Nanaya.
Good morning, my dear. How are you?
I'm very well,
back
thank
from
you.
Your escapades.
Escapades?
Yeah.
I haven't been on any escapades.
I saw you at the community something.
Oh, yes, our community manifesto. We've been out on the ground talking to constituents
You
to
have
find out
started ahead
exactly.
of the political parties.
Because, you know, we are results-oriented.
Okay.
So we like to go to the ground and find out what people want.
That's great.
So, yes, I'm back.
Okay,
and
you're welcome.
It's great to be back on set with you. You're looking very beautiful
Thank
this
you.
morning. We love your outfits, all of us.
I have to manage it small.
You're managing this small. But if you're managing small, what will I do?
If Nkrumah is nobody, then I have to manage it small.
No, that's not what was said.
What are you? Don't
That's
start
not what
to.
was said. That's not what was said.
Don't start to.
All right. Also joining us on the show this morning, a woman we all love and admire, Joyce Bawumutari. She is a special aide to the former president, John Dramani Mahama. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good
Great
morning.
to have you on the show.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm very well.
You
Thank
missed
you.
it.
Very well, yes.
That's true.
You should come more often.
Yes.
We've been moving around quite a bit, you know that. So
yeah.
it makes it very difficult. But great to be here this morning.
All right, great to have you. Also joining as member of the Alliance for Revolutionary Change, Susan Edouard-Monkwa, also looking really lovely today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
She's not only just a member. She's the spokesperson.
Oh,
for them.
I know. I'm just
That's
a
what they
member.
said.
You're the spokesperson for Alan Chemate.
No, just for the movement.
For
For the entire movement.
No, for the Alliance.
For the Alliance.
I'm one of the spokespersons.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Great to have you. You're all welcome to the show.
Thank you
So
very
on Sunday night, we all watched...
Was it Sunday or Monday?
on Tuesday, I beg your pardon.
Tuesday, yeah.
Yes, on Tuesday,
See,
we all
Napo was
watched,
confused.
Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh, when he was unveiled in that very politically charged atmosphere. He made some statements which has gotten a lot of people, disturbed. Now, I'll start with you, Nanaya, because the CPP has released a statement on this. Let's take a look at that statement, just excerpts of the statement, and then Nanaya will speak to it. So the CPP issued a statement after that statement was made on that platform, asking that Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh retract what he said and even be removed from the ticket, from the MPP ticket. We'll bring you excerpts of that statement in a moment. Okay, there we go. So this is a statement from the CPP, and I quote, "A questioning or comparison of the contribution of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah to Ghana, Africa, and humanity as a whole is a moot question, dead on arrival, outmoded at birth. The Convention People's Party calls on the Honourable Minister within 24 hours to do the honourable thing for the sake of the country's image and immediately resign from all government and political positions and issue an immediate apology and retraction. Failing which, the party calls on His Excellency President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo to withdraw the Honourable Minister from his position as Minister of Energy, and also calls on His Excellency, the Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, to withdraw him as his vice presidential candidate for the sake of the country's image and its long-term political and economic fortunes." So this is a statement from the CPP. Nanaya, since or after the statement came out, we have heard an explanation to what Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh said, that he did not mean it that way. He's been taken out of context.
Did he say that?
That's what his spokesperson, Fifi,
That's
Kwaku,
different.
said.
Go on, I'm listening to you.
Yes, so following this explanation, do you feel differently as a party? The CP, well,
No,
you're the former General Secretary, however.
Good morning and good morning to your viewers. Good morning to my sisters, Auntie Susie and my dear Joyce. You see, the CPP said Napo should retract and resign in 24 hours. But within 24 hours, he came to tell us that what he did was right. He didn't even say that we took him out of context. He said that if you lie, people like adore you. When you speak the truth, they say you are arrogant. But he was trained to speak the truth and be confident. So he's confident and he's speaking the truth and he stands by it. So it means he's not prepared to change. Nana Poku is not prepared to change. That is my nephew. He's not prepared to change. And that is what has been his albatross. Everybody says he's arrogant. And because of that, we don't even see if he has a good side. That's one coming out. You went to see Otunfo, and Otunfo said, this is the perception. This is what it is. Change. I didn't expect him to come and say some of the things that he said. For instance, concerning those who have left, clearly referring to Alan Jemerton. As a running mate, your duty is to also try and patch up, all some of these issues that are coming up. Some are existing, some are angry, people have spoken against you. I thought it was a platform for him to say that, oh, this is what people have said. I'm happy that I've been given this position, blah, blah, blah. But not to go into... And he was just... His body language too was not pleasant. Yes.
His body language?
Yes, the way he was going up and down.
It was a political stage.
No, please, I beg you. Why I'm also a politician, no? Do you go gyrating yourself because it's a political platform?
I don't understand the point on his body language.
No. I mean, everything that he was saying, as if... What do you mean? Look, on the issue of those who have left... And if he said, if the back of your, I don't know
your
the
teeth,
word, your teeth,
we'll see
but that proverb there is a dead proverb.
Why?
Yes, because these days I will see that you know there is a canker there. You have tartar. You go to the dentist and clean it. You won't continue taffering it when it doesn't taste well in your mouth. So he cannot say that. He should have said something good. The opinion about Kwame Nkrumah, it can never be a personal opinion. That's why I disagree with Fifi. Fifi, good morning. I work with Fifi at PURC. He was at Oman. Yeah. Do you get me? I disagree. That you see, it ceases to be your opinion when you take a political position. That is the second in line. He's the second leader of the MPP. Whatever he says is deemed to have been sanctioned by the party. So he can never, as it stands, and maybe Napo doesn't know, and Napo doesn't know where he's standing. He can never, from today, he can never have a personal opinion.
He can never have a personal opinion.
From today, as long as he's a running mate, till he's defeated in 2024 elections, he can never have his personal opinion, publicly.
Okay,
because he's represent. You see, you have put yourself in a bind, though.
But the Constitution also gives him the right as a person, freedom of speech, to have his own opinions.
If you want to have your own opinions, then don't take political position. You see, when I was General Secretary, the way I spoke was different from when I speak now.
Is it?
Yes, because you are speaking the voice of the party. So as long as you are speaking the voice of the party, you need to be circumspect. The party cannot take themselves out of this. Because they were there. They applauded. They said, yeah. I saw the, what is his name? The young man, Nana B. He was behind the stage there, giving backing vocals. Do you get it? He was backing him. So it is party. So nobody can say that, oh, this is not party's opinion. Because if it's not party's opinion,
they have said so. He said nobody can say so. But Fifi Buafu has said so.
Fifi Buafu is not a party person.
He's a spokesperson.
When you say party, when you say we are talking about the hierarchy, I said Napo cannot have a personal opinion on the political stage. When he's running mate to Dr. Bawumia.
Says who?
That is the convention. You can't have a personal opinion. Anything that you say as a running mate should represent what the party wants. Do you understand? So, you see, I also blame Nanado.
Why?
Yes.
He didn't say anything.
He didn't say anything. If he didn't like it, Napo won't come and say it. And today, has Nanado told Napo not to say that. It's possible they conferred. They have seen the reaction from the public. Has if Nana Addo as a father, there's something called Abashe Bonnie. I don't know how it's said in English. But if Nana Addo had told him that, look, what you said was wrong, find a way to polish it up, he wouldn't have come back with confidence to say that I said, because you see, this is the UPNLM tradition. So even if Napo has that opinion, you don't expect him to come and adulate Kwame Nkrumah. But the way he said it, Kwame Nkrumah, he was going further to mention other names and he stopped. He was choked.
He was?
Yes, he nearly mentioned Kufuor's name.
How do you know that?
That is why he choked, he stopped.
But why would he mention Kufuor?
Why wouldn't he mention? He said everybody from 1957, Kufuor is in there, his granduncle. Me, I'm from the same home. His granduncle is in there. Nana Poku, you are now telling us that your granduncle didn't do anything. Nana Addo is better than your own granduncle, who everybody said did well. Even if he had mentioned His Excellency John Dramani Mahamad's name, I don't think he was even part of the pack, because the next one that choked him was Kufuor's name.
We don't know that.
You don't know that. He said the man stopped.
Yes, but someone did.
No, if he was
he
going
didn't
to
mention.
No, but if he was going to mention John Mahamed, would he have stopped? I mean, that one is easy to mention. Nobody, but he was going to mention Kufuor, so he just choked. He just stopped. Pim. Do you get me? So.
What is true?
He was going to mention that is why he choked.
I think we can rely on what he said.
No.
Out of his mouth.
Look, let me tell you.
But not what did not come out of his mouth.
Let me tell you, when I was watching that in Ashoko, you see.
Yes, ma'am.
I was sitting there watching, and there's a saying in Chi. Immediately he mentioned, maybe it was telepathy. Immediately he mentioned Kwame Nkrumah. I said, Nana Poku Kalkatrema. And he stopped.
Whatever that means.
I don't know what that was. I said because he was actually going to mention Kufuor. That is why he choked. Because if in his mind he was going to mention Mahama, that is an obvious thing.
He didn't choke, really.
He did choke.
No, he paused and then he continued.
He didn't pause, he choked.
You know what? Let's listen to it again so that we can be able to make...
you listen to it.
Yeah, so we'll be able to decide for ourselves if what Nanaya is saying is right.
Let's look at it.
But the freestyle Ghana from 1957. You're president of Ghana, China, and Akufo-Addo. Messi freestyle 1957. Back on there, more from Kwame Nkrumah, more from Obia, the Wabba de Mampania, what Bogana who buy, and the Ghana colony, China, Nadu Dankwa, Akufo-Addo.
The man choked. You are saying that we should watch it again. He was going to mention Kufuor's name, whether we like it or not.
That we agree.
What are you saying?
So based on that, are you applauding him for stopping there?
Why should I applaud him?
Because you said while you were watching,
the intention is as well as the action.
Yeah, in your home,
yes,
that he should stop talking.
That's what I'm saying.
He did. But so you're saying that he did the right thing.
Why should I applaud him? That is my nephew. I won't applaud him. I'm telling him that he should change his character, because the way he speaks, you see, it is not the opinion that he expressed. It is the way he expressed the opinion.
But if you know him personally as your nephew,
yes,
is the public sentiment about his supposed arrogance.
But you see, if you speak like this, why won't the public say you are arrogant? It doesn't matter.
Because people who know him personally have said that he's not.
No, I'm saying that...
Otunfor himself said that
for me,
he knows him. And
please,
that is not
you see what I say here, the way you relate to me, to Otunfor, to everybody, the public is saying this is how you are. So you have to make amends. You have to change and let us see your real self. That if that is not what it is, why do you see, for him to even... this is crisis management. Sometimes when it comes to crisis management, you don't even talk. So I didn't even expect Fifi Boafu to come out and say anything. Like, if he hadn't said anything, like today, to die a natural death, gradually, it will be out of the media space. But you go back and you reply and say that, me, Kran, I'm bold, I'm confident, and I'll always speak the truth. Is it the truth? If we go and put Nana Addo's achievements and Nkrumah's achievements, Nana Addo's achievements is in a 10 sheet. They have some sheet that they hold. Anytime you mention something, they go and open a page and tick and show you where the infrastructure is. they have a sheet they are holding every time.
Who has a sheet?
The MPP people.
One sheet.
They have a book, some booklet. They have photocopied it. So immediately you say this project has not been done. Agenda, they go in the sheet and tell it has been done. Now those projects are in a pile of sheets.
I see.
Kwame Nkrumah's projects are visible and tangible, and we are enjoying from it.
Okay. Perhaps if we have some time, we'll try to do a comparison. If we have some time, we'll try to do a comparison.
You don't even compare.
So that in order for us to have a well-informed discussion on the
over
matter.
which Napo is...
But Akufo-Addo has also brought some developments to the country.
You said some.
He has done
I am happy you have qualified, but not more than Kwame Nkrumah.
Okay.
You said some.
So we'll try to do...
Napo went to Kinus. He went to Kinus. Kwame Nkrumah, who built that school?
You said he went towards
Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Kinus. That is how me I mentioned. Yes. Who built that school?
All right.
Akufo put down that he superintendent over. Even the free SHS that he's saying is his flagship program. Who started? Who has the blueprint? Yeah. Is it not Kwame Nkrumah? The blueprint of free SHS.
But the implementation, the full implementation of the free SHS.
There's always there should always be a blueprint. And you see, even the free SHS is not working. Mothers are paying 1,500, 2,000 when the children come home.
Huh? You say it's not working?
It's not working. The children are always home. Today, if you are in free SHS, you will not meet your schoolmate. Because whilst you are in school, your schoolmate is at home. When we were in school, we networked.
But you have a set of classmates who you will come to school
We don't need only the classmates. You also need your schoolmates. Not only your classmates.
Let me come to you, Joyce.
Free SHS.
Joyce, first of all, what do you make of the statement, Napo's statement, and then the ensuring or the rest of the explanations and calls that have been made for him to retract and even be removed from the party ticket?
Well, a very good morning to you and good morning to all you amazing ladies. And you can see that these are all very confident, accomplished, bold women, but nobody describes them as arrogant. So I'm sure you are trying very hard to try and, downplay the things that have been said by the Honorable Matthew Poku Prempeh. Look, we ought not to belabor the point. I believe that his own father, his own aunt have all said that the perception out there, and sometimes, look, believe the perceptions are that he's very arrogant. I think that what he said actually depicts this whole impression about him. It literally summed it up for everybody who was watching. Look, ask even people who do not know Napo, who probably have never heard of him, but who probably watched the portion where his own father was actually in the royal household, trying very hard to advise him in a very wise manner. You can tell that it's also in the way it was said, and it's also in the things that were unsaid. And like I said, you watched his whole body language. Look, to ever wake up in the morning, my sister, and either be selected as a flag bearer, a running mate, president, all these categories of leadership positions is a privilege, is an honor. It ought to be a very humbling experience. So on the very first time that you engage any individual on whom this position of leadership has devolved, not because you are the best in Ghana, not because you are the most qualified in Ghana, not because there aren't other people who will do better than you, but on this occasion, maybe God in his own wisdom has allowed or enabled you to have a platform like this to address us. It is a wrong platform to use first to denigrate a man whom the world has adjudged as a man of the millennium. Can everybody be wrong? No. Then you look at the context of the beginning of the outdoor program, where you left the palace straight to the platform. Then look at the history, the historical antecedent of your relationship with the person that you are coming actually to deputize. That is Mahmoud Bawumia. Why do we all know Bawumia or his name or anything? It's because of his father. Everything Mahmoud is today was built on the back of the CPP. That is what we grew up knowing about his family. Everything else, as they say, is history. So when you come to serve a man like that, you must know that there's a way you ought not to discuss will literally try to disparage. But you see, let's look at the politics of it. Ever since this conversation around Akufo-Addo started, there's been this conscious, deliberate effort to rewrite our history, to reposition certain individuals, to give them higher laurels than they even deserve, to literally mar a certain past just so that we can elevate a certain person, give them the heights that maybe naturally they probably do not even aspire or even see in themselves. And so on an occasion when we were outdooring someone that, look, when you become president of vice, are you president of vice in your home? You are serving the entire citizenry, the whole country. As soon as you are elected and sworn into office, you cease to be your own person. You now serve at our pleasure, in our interest, and for us. But look at the history of the New Patriotic Party, especially this group led by President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. It is never about the good people of Ghana. It was just to get elected. And as soon as they got elected, what happened? First, it was free SHS. Remember that even on the day when President Akufo-Addo was actually relaunching free SHS, he never gave credit to the fact that all of our fathers and mothers from northern Ghana had actually benefited from free SHS. If you remember, it was the Honorable Osafo Mafo who had actually made a certain very unprintable remark and then referred to this aspect of persons from the north who had been enjoying free, under Kwame Nkrumah. And what was the reason? They were hewers of wood. Historically, the north was serving the cocoa farms. And remember that Nkrumah arrived on the history of us becoming independent. That history is also why we ought to be very careful about politicians who come into office to serve at our pleasure and spend the whole time trying to reposition and recalibrate our thoughts when it comes to our history. Why is that even so necessary? Let's face it, why is it necessary? Let's look at the level of hardship under President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Look at the level of corruption that we talk about. And this is not because I am NDC or because I work for John Mahama. This is a fact. The benchmarks that we put out there from civil society organizations, the data that we have, the research that all of us work with now, it is not me putting the results there. It is Ghanaians they are asking. And if you see the faces of some of the people who were in the crowd when he made those very, 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 very careless and reckless remarks, and let me tell you, this actually should serve as notice to all of us. This is just exactly why Napo was selected out of all the other pseudo-qualified persons who were sitting on the front row of that platform. Because they know how reckless he can be, because of his loose talking, because of his total disrespect for a lot of people, and how he doesn't care what he says and how... Look, there is nothing being bold when you talk crassly. I don't understand. You're saying because of his whole persona. That's why he was selected to be running because mate. You can tell Bawumia has lost his mojo. Look at them on the platform that day. I mean, when he spoke, who listened to him? You could tell that his voice even didn't resonate with anybody. He said, I mean, since then, have you heard anything, any news headline that has come out of it? No. Look, all of us, especially you in the media, you must condemn leaders who make such remarks. You must condemn leaders who refuse to take responsibility. You must condemn leaders who, when they are given platforms of this kind, use it because of their personal dislike or personal, literally, their hatred for certain contexts to discuss conversations and have them in a manner that does not engender unity, a manner that is not progressive, a manner that is not unifying, a manner that does not augur well for our democracy. Look, we are in a democratic dispensation. We don't create lords. We are not creating heirlooms. We are not building people because of their succession plans. We are not here as a people to personally raise the levels of some individuals. In a democracy, all of us are equal before the law. Okay. When you have spent a sum, colossal sum of 339 million cedis on land with absolutely nothing to show in the name of building a cathedral. When you have expended 11.9 million on a Palugu dam that is non-existent. When you have sat for the Bank of Ghana for the first time historically to declare losses of well over 60 billion cedis and counting. For the first time, the Bank of Ghana itself can no longer even provide the support that all of us have literally always been dependent on. And then you sit there, instead of admitting and addressing the hardships, your failure to fight corruption, your inability to control your appointees. Look at the level of state capture. When this conversation around nepotism started, I think on this platform, I told one of your hosts that if you look at it, one of the things that creates state capture or feeds state capture is the nature of appointees around you. When they are close family relatives, when they are close aficionados, when they are close friends, a close-knit set of people. And their own chairman described it as a certain clannish mentality. That is what we have. That is the reality. Irrespective of where you come from. The corruption affects all of us. The inflation affects all of us. Do you know how much UNESCO gave to support planting for food and jobs?
How much?
I check. You can Google it. I'm not sure of the fact. Over $40 million, if I'm not mistaken. And yet we have high cost of food. Do you know those who suffer the most? It is not the Napos of this world. It is not the Akufo-Addos of this world. I mean, look at the level of assets that are being stolen and bought left and right. Now, if Nkrumah had taken Akosombo lands and put in his household, we see his kids. At least these ones probably are the same age as children. One of them passed even recently. May he so rest in peace. He was at Noguchi all his life with her. Did you ever see him and see that Akosombo land was his personal property? Did you see them touting big restaurants as being their own? Did you see their children suddenly occupying very juicy positions and talking down to the good people of Ghana? Now, look, as a people, let's watch any leader who works to divide us. Look, Ghana is a very cosmopolitan place. What is the reason people love coming to Ghana? Oh, you guys are so different. There's a church here and there's a mosque here.
Please land.
Oh, you guys are so different. You know, there's this person and that person here. May we fight against the level of partisanship that destroys our nascent democracy.
All right.
May we deny leaders an opportunity to lord it over us. And if what happened in Kumasi is anything to go by, make no mistake, Ghanaians, if you go back there and you elect Napo and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Ghana is finished because whatever is left will be taken. And then they will still finish and talk down to us. Absolutely finished. Because they have absolutely no respect for democracy. It is just about them, us, and nobody else. And that is the truth.
And you're getting this based on that statement?
Look, it's a microcosm of what they think. Look, you know, I was telling you this morning that in my criminal investigation class, it is not the way you look at a human being. It is not the construction of a person's face. The best things about human beings, even when crime is involved, is the intentions. Sometimes you wake up in the morning, you say stuff that you realize that you didn't even intend to say. But because you think that way, you would say it, and you say it happily. Just imagine that somebody had not beckoned to him to stop. Imagine what he'd have said next. And even after his own spokesperson came out to say that this is not what he intended, what did he say? He says that when you speak the truth in Ghana, really? We've spoken the truth about corruption. We've spoken the truth about state capture. We've spoken the truth about disrespect, about disregard for our democracy. Who is responding to us? That was the platform to deny all of these things that Ghanaians are currently feeling.
All right, let me come to you, Susan. What do you make of all of this? Do you think differently from what Nanaya and Joyce have said?
No, I don't, actually. And what Nanaya said, you know, when I was watching it, and I didn't just say to myself, oh, he's dissed Nkrumah. The first thing I said to myself was, oh, he's dissed President Akufo. I was like, oh, that was the first thought that came to me, because Nkrumah is too big for him to diss. You understand? I mean, Nkrumah is larger than life. And so, you know, what he said, oh, it's just really, it doesn't matter. And, you know, I agree with Nanaya. At the position he is now, he ceases to publicly have a personal opinion. His personal opinions is when he's sitting with his friends and they're talking and they're laughing and you can say those things. But once he mounts a platform, it is believed that anything that he says is endorsed by his party. So what his spokesperson is saying, I mean, when I looked at it, you know, and after I thought that, I said, but this whole posture of dissing Nkrumah, should have been a rally in 1967, just after they had overthrown Nkrumah and the LLM were there. Maybe they're having a this thing. It's not a rally for 2024. It's not. You understand? Those days when they were dissing Nkrumah, yes, you could have it at the propaganda accounts. Over time, we've all come to realize who Nkrumah is. Even the Gen Zs and the millennials and everything. All you have to do is to read about the man. He you know, I agree with the C people when they said that his comparison with Nkrumah was dead on arrival. It's you see, but what we have to caution people and other leaders is that you build on the greatness of others. You know, Nkrumah himself said, he says, if I have been able to do that, you know, the things, it's because I have stood on the shoulders of great people. When you want to be great yourself, you acknowledge the greatness of others. That is what makes you great also. But when you come and you want to diss other people, your candle does not shine brighter because you've put other people's candles out. You get it? And so it makes you petty and it makes you small. And Napo is a friend. I don't want that from him. You understand? Because it really makes him look petty and small. Because you want to diss somebody, it's not Nkrumah. You want to come in as a vice president, knowing your history, and you say, Nkrumah, no. I mean, really? That is so sad. And it's sad not for Nkrumah, but for him. Because this is a person who has... We are not going to talk about... You see, Nkrumah, when we talk about Nkrumah, it's not about the number of schools he put up, because that is unimaginable, the number of schools he put up in the time he put them up, or the training colleges, because he realized that you'd need teachers. Or the jobs he gave people. You came out of school and you knew you would have a job. I mean, the man cut down secondary school from 5 years to 4 years so that people can come out earlier, and because there were jobs waiting for them. We're not even going to talk about that. When we talk about development of people, it's eclectic, it's multidimensional, it's broad. You understand? Let's take even the soft development of people. Ethical people. People who have ethics, who when they say their yes, is their yes. When they say their no, is their no. Nkrumah gave us that. You understand? Ghanaians were respected worldwide. And if Ghanaians continue to be respected worldwide, it's because of Nkrumah, not because of Nana Addo. You get it? When I go to East Africa, and they say you are Ghanaian, they're like, wow, you are Nkrumah's Ghanaian. Sometimes you even begin to believe that they adore Nkrumah more than we do. You get it? Nkrumah gave us that. He gave us the belief in ourselves, the audaciousness to believe that we were capable of managing our own selves. Unfortunately, he probably is standing in his grave because this is us now. You get it? So it's the development of people is not about Agenda 111 or whatever that they haven't even done properly.
It's in a book also.
You understand? It's about a people. You know, when people say, let's make America great again, it's not about America being great because they have hospitals and those things and whatever. It's because the people, they stand tall and they stand proud and say, we are great because we have self-actualized as a people in terms of the kind of ethics we put out there, the kind of living, the kind of freedoms that we have. When you ask people about their development, it's about their freedoms to be who they are, what they can be, and how they can live their lives. Go out and ask the ordinary person how they feel about themselves. We have lost our self-esteem. We have lost our audaciousness. We are going around begging cup in hand. Look, the Nana Addo he was trying to compare with, maybe Napo being calculating, he said that, okay, let me please Nana Addo because it helps in the political strategy or whatever. So he thought that by dissing Nkrumah, Nana-Addo will be pleased. But this is a Nana-Addo who everything that he has done, if you look at sometimes, you think he's a better Nkrumahist than he's a better UP person. Free SHS? Is that it? Look, it's funny that we get caught up with these things. We did, when we went to secondary school, we didn't pay tuition. What we paid was boarding fees. But what they are saying free is the burden that they've added to it. We didn't pay for tuition. We paid boarding fees. Tuition for secondary schools for the longest time was free. So, and free education, but we even had tertiary that was free. They had, in the time of Nkrumah, the people, when they went to university, they had butlers. They were fed. You understand? Nobody is even talking about that.
I don't even want to.
You don't even want to go into that. You get it. When Nana-Addo talks about even the whole UP tradition, when they talk about the things that they have achieved, it's the socialist welfare things that they have achieved. None of their capitalist things have achieved. Their non-liberal ideology has been thrown to the dogs because the tangible things they have achieved are socialist things. Nana-Addo, he was a staunch member of GANASO. GANASO was the Ghana National Association of Socialist Students when he was in Legon.
Yeah. Okay.
All the things that he went to the ideological college. Yeah. He did. Maybe he thinks that Nkrumah didn't give his father pride of place. And so this is the thing that we are seeing in the changing of history and the 4th of August. When you talk about Republic Day, what does Republic Day mean? The position that is there as president is as a big result of Republic Day, when we actually came onto our own. But it's funny because the parliamentarians sit down and allow this to happen. I'm even surprised at the NDC parliamentarians, because when that change came in terms of Republic Day, the CPP wrote a long list of 60 reasons why it was wrong to do that. NDC parliamentarians who have a CPP, they didn't read and they didn't go and do the research and allowed it to pass. And as I say, and I would always say, if NDC would lose, it is largely because of their parliamentarians. But that's not why we are. That's a different story. Development of people, somebody who makes you feel like you are a human being and that you have right of place in this world, and you begin to compare it to somebody that what did Nana-Addo? Improve on roads. Look, give us more roads. Every president must improve on what the other person did. Even Nkrumah will have to admit that if the people come after him don't do well and better than him, then he has failed. You understand? Well, every child or every parent wants their child to do better.
Okay.
You understand? So if he talks about, but you see, we are not talking about development in terms of physical things. We are talking about development as a people and how we feel about ourselves and what we have been able to achieve for ourselves. We still have not liberated ourselves from mental slavery, thinking that somebody has to come and develop this country for us. When we talk about the African personality, where does that come from? Where the African personality is looking about developing within our ways, within our culture, within who we are. Nkrumah was not given enough time to change that generation of breaking the shackles of mental slavery. And unfortunately, we have stagnated. And in development, there's nothing really like negative development. It's just stagnation, that people are not growing. Have we grown as a people? Really? Have we grown as a people? When, you are a creative. Go and read your history on how Nkrumah treated the creatives, recognizing their position in society, recognizing how creatives lift us up as a people, and compare it to now. Is that development? You know, it's funny how when you look at the posture there. They said they took Napo to so that they can garner votes from the Ashanti region because Alan is coming to take votes away from them. Really, whatever votes Alan will take, I don't think that Napo is going to do anything. None of those votes that Alan will take from the Ashanti region, Napo cannot win them back, especially with that kind of behavior.
He's taking more, Kra.
He's going to take more. You want somebody who is reconciliating, somebody who is loving, who gathers, a nurturer. That kind of behavior is not nurturing. That kind of behavior doesn't gather. It divides. It's divisive. It is unfriendly. It is harsh. I love the man Napo, but this behavior.
You know him personally. He's your friend.
Know it. Oh, yes.
All right.
You know, but
because you know him personally, I like to ask people who know him personally because public perception seems to be different. All right. So it appears the public perception is different from his personal attributes.
He's public now.
It has nothing to do with the people who know him personally.
So that's my question is.
Do you remember my very first part with him was when they first took over and he became education minister? Anna Jane qualifies to be like a postman, if I'm mistaken.
Yes.
It was the way he described her in very disparaging ways in public. Yes, that is the problem. Of course, if I meet Baumia in the morning, Napo in the morning,
so the three of you know him personally. You're saying that the public opinion or the public perception that has been created about him
we don't want to talk
is no different. That's what you're saying.
Nothing to do with that. No, look.
All right.
Monkey no fine, but his mother they love him.
Yes, thank you.
Let's not go there. The fact that Monkey no fine and his mother loves him doesn't mean that Monkey is fine.
It's fine.
You get it.
All right.
So the thing
I want us to
about
wrap up on this topic.
Yes, let's wrap up. The MPP alone, with all their members, cannot win an election in this country.
Yes.
Mahmoud Bawumia now preaching against his government.
His own government.
Preaching against his government. You understand? Saying that he's come to do this, which his government that he's sitting didn't do. Cannot win our votes. He needs the help of a running mate who would also consolidate it.
Yes,
you understand? Now, if you think that your running mate, you are only going to pigeonhole your running mate to a particular region, I'm sorry, that strategy is wrong. Alan will take the votes that he will take the votes, and he will win other votes because
he will take more votes.
He will take more votes.
All right.
They are not going to. We want a country. This country is too polarized. We don't need more polarization. You don't need the Nkrumahist bristling. You understand? You don't need those people who have sympathies for Nkrumah saying that, why would he talk that way? Because voting is an emotive thing, okay? It's an emotive thing. You step on the person's emotions in the wrong way, they will vote against you.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
So I think that they should shut up. Like they said, they should shut up. Sometimes keeping quiet. But he going to Wasa to go and justify speaking the truth. What truth? His truth? His version of the truth?
And that's what
he has the right to do so.
He has the right to do so. Oh, nobody stops him from saying that. But what he has to say, he should say it, my truth. There are some people who are very bitter against Nkrumah. That is their truth. But we also know the whole truth. It's about the whole picture. Nobody is saying that Nkrumah was infallible. He was not. He was human. And so he made his mistakes. But you see, when you take the whole picture, that's what makes the man great. And then when you diss him, you look small, you look petty, you become insignificant. And we don't want that. We want our leaders who come to build on the greatness of those who have gone before him. And after he dissing Nkrumah, like we said,
did he diss him though? He did. Said that no other. No other president has
that's not it.
Because when you say this, it means insult.
But he insulted them.
Did he insult him?
Yes, when somebody says Nkrumah, you understand?
Yeah.
It's disrespectful.
But that statement, though, his spokesperson has come out to say that particular statement. Your Nkrumah, he did not come out properly. So he said that.
No, please.
He said that. But I would like us to end this now so we can talk about labor issues.
Sometimes it is not about what you say. You and I can say the same thing. Our body languages will make one an insult and the other just an ordinary statement. You understand? And you know that. So it is the way and the manner in which it was said. As for people saying Nkrumah, somebody has done better than Nkrumah, people say that all the time. It's not a big deal.
It's the way.
It is the way and the manner in which it was said. It was disrespectful, and they said, when you want respect, you give respect.
Excellent.
As a vice presidential candidate, he wants respect. He has to give respect.
Well said.
We will respect.
Thank you for ending that for us on this Napo statement and the issues arising from there.